Leighton, our first story today profiles the 2011 Mississippi Forestry Association Outstanding Tree Farmer of the Year. The Call of Forestry found Charles Dismukes of Kilmichael early in his life. He began tree farming at the age of 13, eventually followed a career that saw him own his own timber company and work to further forestry on a local, state, and national basis.
My management plan goes out 15 years now, from 2010. I updated it in 2010 and it goes out 15 years from there. Now I have had some kind of a management plan since for at least 60 years.
Charles Dismukes and his wife Carolyn live on their 1,158-acre registered tree farm northwest of Kilmichael, Mississippi. Mr. Dismukes grew up on the original 105 acres first purchased by his grandfather. Registered in 1959, the tree farm has trees ranging from just planted to more than 60 years. Dismukes has not only tree farmed, he also started the Vaden Timber Company, which his sons Barry and Brian operate today. Dismukes is also a registered forester in Alabama and Mississippi. He works to promote forestry at the local, state, and national levels.
One of the quotes he told me about is like, those that show up win. You have to be there in order to make things happen. So some just life skills that he is always sharing.
Vicki Roberts of Winona is the current president of the Montgomery County Forestry Association. She started participating in the association 10 years ago after her father passed away and the family land was turned into a tree farm. At first glance, Roberts and Dismukes might not appear to have much in common, but she considers him a mentor.
We both have something in common. We both love land, and he's a good steward of the land, and his basic principles about life. You know, he's a big giver. I think that people would not find that out from him because he doesn't like to talk about that. I have a vision for it, but he actually has the land where I can come and see the trails that he has on his property, the ponds. I can come see the visual of what I'm trying to do with the goals for our family property also.
Roberts likes to read through Dismukes' 4-H youth record book because 4-H is where his forestry career started at age 13.
It was in '51, and a new assistant county agent, Mr. Bob Wilson, came into this area, and he was real enthusiastic with a 4-H club. Every school had a 4-H club in those days. He started to work on the kids around here, and he looked at my place and he says, y'all don't farm much, so you need a forestry project.
That led to forester Ralph Robertson with the Mississippi State University Extension Service helping the young Dismukes to formulate a tree management plan for 65 acres of his family's land. Field days were held at the property demonstrating proper tree planting and management. Dismukes' interest in forestry grew. He won the Mississippi and National 4-H Forestry Project Awards in 1957. That led to a 4-year college scholarship from Homelight Chainsaws. Dismukes graduated with a forestry degree from Mississippi State University in 1961. Even in high school, Dismukes' reputation for forestry knowledge caused him to be called as an expert witness in a court case.
When I was 15 years old, I got a subpoena from a judge in Winona. And I was subpoenaed as an expert witness in a timber trespass case at 15 years of age. And naturally, it was kind of getting to me, but I went over there and I told him what I knew about timber and what I knew about trespassing, and I guess the guy won his case, and so I guess he was happy.
Dismukes continued to share his forestry knowledge while he operated his timber buying company. He tried to persuade every landowner he worked with to replant after the harvest.
I always had a service. If I would make arrangements to get it tree planted and get the TSI with the site preparation work done. Now I didn't pay for it, but if he'd save enough money to do the paying, I would do all of the work as far as getting it replanted for him. And that still holds today with my sons.
If someone doesn't have a consultant forester of their own, I mean, we've always been, if they want us to, we'd be willing to advise them on how to go about replanting and who to talk to and who to talk to in your extension service and your county foresters, and then they can give them all kinds of advice on that.
Julian Watson, the 2009 Mississippi Forestry Association Outstanding Tree Farmer of the Year, is a client of the Dismukes. For more than 10 years, their Vaden Timber Company is the only one he lets thin the trees on his Holmes County land.
People say, well, why don't you get somebody else? I said, well, you know, I'm very loyal. They've been loyal to me, and I'm loyal to them. They do a great job.
Dismukes not only logged and tree farmed, he spent a lot of time after hours working on behalf of the forest industry. For example, he's a life member of the Mississippi Forestry Association and MFA's foundation. He served in many MFA roles, being an advocate for Mississippi forestry. In 2008, Dismukes received its highest honor, the Meritorious Service to Forestry Award. His active work to promote the forestry profession saw him declared a Fellow of the Society of American Foresters, its highest honor. Locally, Dismukes is a member of 3 county forestry associations.
Charles has been a member of just about every forestry organization I can think of, the Southern Hardwood Group, SAF, MFA. He's a charter member of the Montgomery County Forestry Association and been the president 2 or 3 times.
He has shared his knowledge with a lot of landowners, both here in Montgomery County and in Carroll County also.
Dismukes has also planted seeds for the future of forestry by donating to the College of Forest Resources at Mississippi State University. He funds a scholarship for an ambassador, a student who recruits other students into the college.
What they needed was call it the Ambassador Scholarship. And actually they give the scholarship to students, and these students in turn recruit other students for the forestry school. And I thought that was a good thing. My wife thought it was a really good thing too.
It was neat for me while I was at Mississippi State. I was an ambassador with the College of Forest Resources, and I received a scholarship from a guy named Charles Dismukes, and I knew he was from Vaden and was the owner of Vaden Timber Company, and it's really neat now that I'm standing on his farm, seeing what all he's done and getting to know him.
The Dismukes family operates a multi-use tree farm where timber production, hunting, recreation, and education work together. It's not unusual to see groups ranging from homeschoolers to Boy Scouts on the Dismukes tree farm. This forestry class from Holmes Community College came recently for an opportunity to work in a managed forest. Field days are not uncommon for local landowners. The future looks promising for the Dismukes tree farm. It remains the center of family activity. One grandson is majoring in surveying while the other is majoring in forestry.
He likes forestry and he likes wildlife, so he's trying to get that double major into that. So he just likes being involved in it. I guess it's in the blood.
I tell you, my attitude is that if they told me I wasn't going to live but 2 more weeks, I'd want to plant some trees before I left. And if we don't do that, future generations won't have it.
You can watch this story again on Charles Dismukes on our Farmweek website, Facebook page, or YouTube. The website address is farmweek.msucares.com. We'll also have links and contact information for agencies where you can get forestry advice to help you start to manage your tree farm. Of course, Leighton, that story was shot in September of 2011, which means that it's almost 3 years ago. We were surprised that he did not get National Tree Farmer of the Year.
Amazed that we didn't get that.
You know, because of what he did on his farm, how he helped other people, and he's a Society of American Foresters Fellow, which they don't hand those out every day.
Not one on every corner.
That means you've advanced, you know, the whole industry. So, but anyway, one thing we might mention in that story, unfortunately, Jeff Crowder that you saw in that story that worked for the Forestry Commission has passed away since that story was done originally.